Hello guys, Matt from MrNoDStudios here, and welcome back. Today we're going to be starting up our brand new SuperPower 2 series using, yes, the one and only greatest mod ever made. The Man in the High Castle mod. Yes, so in the last episode you guys voted, and I'll go ahead and flash up those voting selections right now, the voting results, so that way you guys can go ahead and see what everybody actually voted for. So as you guys can see now, the neutral zone received 55% of the vote. So over half of you guys voted for the neutral zone for me to play as. After the neutral zone, we have Nigeria, which didn't fall too far behind the main choice. Nigeria got 30% of the overall vote, which was 6 votes out of the 20 total votes, so not too shabby there. However, what you're probably wondering right now is, at the beginning, you kind of noticed I was centered on Nigeria a little bit. I had Nigeria centered. You can see the troops inside of Nigeria. It's kind of like I'm playing this game as Nigeria. Matt, you know what? You are playing as Nigeria. Why are you not the neutral zone? What's happening here? So basically what happened, and I'll just go ahead and scoot right over to the neutral zone right here. Basically what happened was when I tried to go ahead and actually start a custom game as the neutral zone, it just wouldn't let me. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get it. It literally would not let me play as the neutral zone. I tried switching between the Democratic and Republican parties, still nothing. It literally would not let me budge. And basically what ended up happening was, whenever I would start the game and click the start game button, nothing would happen. Literally the game would just stall out, and I even waited around 5 minutes for the thing to load up. It wasn't trying to load anything, it simply was not loading. And looking, at neutral zone and their statistics, I glanced over at the economic tab, and looking at their economic health tab, I noticed that they had a 211k GDP per capita. Now that very well could be one of the reasons why it's actually not letting me play as the neutral zone. Maybe something is messed up with their economy or something like that. Examining their population, we can see that they have 6.8 million people, which isn't a whole lot. However, for this particular part of the United States, that doesn't seem too off for me. Honestly, there's not a whole lot of population living in these 4 states, at least in real life anyways, so I don't think it's, too far off in terms of the population. I just really don't know what went on. My guess is, they just don't want you to play as the neutral zone. I don't know, I'm just wondering really if you guys have played this mod and if you've ever successfully been able to play as the neutral zone. I just want to reassure you guys that I did absolutely everything I could think of to go ahead and remedy this problem if it was indeed something that I had caused. Please let me know in the comments below if you guys have ever been able to successfully play as the neutral zone, and if you have, how did you do it? Did it just work, as simple as selecting any other country, or did it take a while to load? It just took a really long time to load. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below what kind of experience you guys have had if you have ever played this mod. Anyways, guys, that's about as much time as I'm going to go ahead and spend on that topic. I really do apologize that this happened. The neutral zone was the #1 primary voter choice, and I should have checked beforehand whether or not I could actually play as the neutral zone. And oh my god, coincidentally, in the voting video, remarked, I wonder if I can play as the neutral zone, because they are called the neutral zone. So are they really a country? Can I even play as them? And what do you know, it actually turns out I can't. Let's go ahead and dive into things, guys. Nigeria, here we are. So first of all, what I would like to go ahead and examine is the political party that we chose for our particular playthrough this time around. So what we are playing as the People's Democratic Party. I was trying to go for a sort of communist-esque or at least somewhat leftist type of party name. And the People's Democratic Party, that sounds like a democratic socialist party or like a democratic communist party, something along the lines of that. So I just went with them. And the reason why I also wanted to do that, I kind of want to roleplay this time around as being the sort of lone wolf communist force in the world of fascism. So if you guys take a look at the map right now, basically the whole entire world is fascist. You have the Greater German Reich controlling most of Northern Europe. Actually, basically all of it. I mean, if we switch over to the Empire map mode, whew, look at that, man. They own basically all of Europe, the Axis powers do. The Balkans has been left somewhat untouched in the east here with, you know, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. Those countries over there, they have been left out of the war somehow. However, everyone else, they are pretty much puppets of the German Reich. Even the UK fell to the German Reich. Also, Italy, they're fascist. They're under a military dictatorship as opposed to the single-party democracy. But, you know, really, in real life, they were both fascist powers. So, they're kind of the same in my book. Looking at the Japanese, they were also a fascist power, except they were under a monarch instead of, you know, a Führer or a dictator. I mean, honestly, a monarch, though, is really a dictator. There's just a familial line that goes along with it. It's just basically a familial dictatorship, if you wish. So, honestly, I just wanted to kind of roleplay as the great communist lone wolf of the world who is going to restore freedom and democracy and socialism, true socialism, to the world. Anyways, that's about it for all that stupid propaganda bullcrap. So, let's take a look at our expenses. Yes. So, our expenses are looking pretty dang pitiful right now. First thing we're going to have to do, and it's very communist-like of us, we're going to set the personal income tax rate at 80%. Oh boy. Ooh, we got an advisor warning. The population is turning on you. Oh no. Another alarming thing about Nigeria, though, is their corruption. Holy cow. Look at that corruption rate. 66.5% corruption rate. Is there even a freaking straight politician left in our country? I don't think there is. There is no accountability. I cannot talk. Oh my lord. There is no accountability at all in our country. And that's actually costing us a fair amount of money. $348 million per quarter is a lot of money for Nigeria. We're not a huge country by any means. Let's see, how many people do we even have? We don't even have... Oh no, I was looking at the terrain, the total area. My bad. So we are, you know, in terms of population, pretty up there. We're basically half of the United States population. So that's actually pretty good. Not too shabby. But in terms of the economy, it's very wavy. We aren't producing a whole lot per capita. So we really do need to take our expenses seriously. Really quickly, I just went ahead and fast forwarded the game a few days to actually go ahead and get that personal income tax modifier to change in real time. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is completely rework this budget. So research is going to have to go completely out the window for now. Healthcare as well, completely out the window. Environment's going to have to go by the wayside. I do want to keep infrastructure as high as possible, though, because if you take a look at our infrastructure rating, 1.3% of our country is developed, and only 1.8% of our country has telecommunications. So it's really terrible, and we're only about halfway in terms of human development towards the world average. So it's just overall a really terrible situation. In order to remedy these problems, I'm going to pour as much money as possible into infrastructure, and the reason why I'm doing that is because it just helps out your country so much. You guys have heard this spiel from me way too often if you watch my SuperPower 2 series. Putting your infrastructure spending up is so worth it. You cannot afford by any means to keep your infrastructure spending in the negative. Never, ever, ever. It's just, it will destroy your country if you don't have infrastructure. You need roads to properly transport things throughout your country, and, including troops. So you don't get any, sort of modifier if you have a higher infrastructure rate in terms of troop movement, but it is, you want to have it up there, okay? That's what I'm saying, all right? Enough babbling. Next up, we need to go ahead and change the governmental spending. And this is going to be a little bit painful because we don't have any money. And government costs a lot of dang money. So we're going to just go ahead and set it right dead center on the scale. And I'm hoping that's going to try and keep corruption down. But honestly, it's going to continue to rise because we have such low governmental spending. So I'm going to leave the budget like that for now, and I'm going to go into the thematic maps, switch over to diplomatic relations, and now we need to go ahead and find another country to essentially mirror that's going to be able to accept our debts. So the reason why I'm doing this kind of country searching is because on our own, Nigeria cannot, overcome this. We cannot overcome our own economic destitution by ourselves. We need someone else to go ahead and intervene and save us because our economic situation, it's just too terrible. To fix it on our own, it's just, whoa, I don't know how to do that. So I'm not even going to try and mess around with that. What I was thinking of doing was trying to emulate the German states of America and their laws, just so that way I can get their economic support in the beginning of the game. Then we can switch over to a more communistic or a socialistic or at least somewhat leftist model. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now, we are at, what kind of relations are we at with the US right now? 11? Is that what it is? Yeah, I think we're at 11 with them. So, oh no, wait, yeah, there I am. So it would be 11 relations with them. That's not terrible, but it's not where we need it to be. So what I want to go ahead and do is take a look at what their internal laws look like. And they're actually pretty leftist for being a fascist state. They're kind of in the center there. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at their stuff over here. Oh, of course the Jewish religion is illegal. The German states of America, they have to get that bit of anti-Semitism in there. Yeah, yikes, that's not good. Anyways, what is more important than that is the laws. So it looks like they do permit contraception and abortion. You can have an unlimited amount of people in your family and an unlimited amount of children. And women can also vote, but no freedom of speech or demonstration. Okay. And they are also a single-party democracy. And I was going to switch over to a single-party democracy anyways. And the reason why I want to do that is because in the beginning of the game, our approval rating is just going to be jumping all over the place. It's going to be terribly low in the beginning of the game here. So I just want to ensure that we are going to be able to stay in power. And the only way to really do that is to switch over to a single-party model. Next up, let's go ahead and switch over the actual laws. We're going to unpermit freedom of speech and permit abortion, but we're going to illegitimize child labor. Now, this is going to hurt the economy here a little bit. However, it's going to balance out with all of the economic support that we are going to get from the German states of America. So if we can successfully get our relations up there, then this is going to really pay off. Now, it looks like the Balkans, they really liked those changes. Are any of them in the positive, though? I don't think any of them are. There's only 3 countries over there that are kind of free. Yeah, they're not going to be able to spot me. What about Saudi Arabia? Nope. Oman? Nope. Ooh, the UAE, though, could be a possible ally. Let's go ahead and see, will they do an alliance with us? No, they will not. Will they do a common market with us? They will. Now, this mod switches things up a whole lot. So do we even have... Oh, wow. We don't even start out with any treaties. Or at least the UAE doesn't. So I'm assuming it's the same exact thing for us. Yeah, it is. So we don't start out with any treaties whatsoever. Wow. Can we get maybe a research partnership going on with them as well? No, they are not going to accept that. Dang. Maybe, not a request war. Yeah, I don't want to go to war with them. What about a weapons trade? Yeah, they're gonna ignore that as well. Human development collaboration. They'll take that. Sweet. I think they are, they are well above the world average there. So that's pretty decent, actually. The UAE is in a great spot. Absolutely amazing spot right at the start of the game. Next up, I wanna really try and get some economic aid and that sort of thing going on here. There we go. We got the economic aid treaty going on there. That still is not going to sort out our budget, though. So let's see. We need basically ridiculous relations with the UAE in order for them to accept our debts. I think the cutoff is 80, so we need 80 or above relations for them to accept any kind of debt from us. And now, I'm really kind of considering giving away land. We actually have a little bit better relations with the German states of America, and they are a lot more promising for doing this. So I'm thinking of maybe even giving them a small little coastal province in order to gain more of their support. So we could do Ogun, or what is this, Lagos. So let's see. Let's go ahead and open up a trade with the United States, or rather the German states, because the United States is kind of not any, they're not really united. They're all broken up. So let's see. We want to add in Ogun. That's how much that's worth. What about Lagos? Is Lagos worth more? Yes, it is. So I'm just going to do Ogun because I want as little money to be taken away from me as possible in exchange for these relations. So we'll switch over to Ogun. We'll add that in there. And honestly, we're just going to flat out give this to them. And as you can see, our relations with them have shot up to an 83. Perfect. Bing, ba, bing, bing, bing. Now, let's see. Can they accept my debt? I don't want to assume their debt. I want them to assume my debt. There it is. Yes, and there we go. I thought 80 was the cutoff. It might have been 90, though, but it definitely is 80. So that actually boosted our relations even more. That is amazing, man. Okay, so this puts us in a whole lot better of a situation. We don't have to pay any of the interest on our debt anymore because the German states of America decided to go ahead, help a brother out. They spotted us. They gave us a little bit of pocket change. Actually, it wasn't a little bit of pocket change. It was a lot of dang money in terms of Nigeria because we were never going to be able to get rid of that kind of, debt on our own. So there we go. Now what I would like to go ahead and do is get our infrastructure up as high as possible and get the telecoms at least in the green. That looks really good to me. Oh, that looks absolutely fantastic. The next thing I want to go ahead and do is gloss over our sectors here. And I want to see if we are overproducing in any area. And if we are overproducing in any area, and I don't think we are as Nigeria. Ooh, no, the fossil fuels market. Great. So I'm going to set that to government controlled. And we're also going to legalize drugs with a 10% flat tax. And it looks like dairy and vegetables and fruits is a little bit over, but I don't want to kill my market share that I've already established. So I'm just going to leave it as is there. The fossil fuels is definitely going to really help us out though. In addition to all the changes that I've made already, I'm going to go ahead and go through to every single sector in the resources tab, and I'm going to change all the sector taxes to 10%. So we're going to have a 10% flat tax on every single sector other than the government-owned ones. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly, and I'll be back when that's all finished. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead and click the check button right there, and we're all set. Okay, now we have a little bit more money to go ahead and play around with here. So what I'm going to do is put more money into the government and then put as much money as I can into the environment without going too much into the negative. Now what I need to go ahead and do is go into every single sector, and I'm going to increase the production by 25%, a whole lot, until I'm meeting consumption in every single sector, or at least every single sector that I can get to meet consumption. So I'm trying to equalize every single thing out, so that way we are not in this huge, terribly bad economic situation where we have to import every freaking item we need in this country. We have to import it. So I want to try and get rid of that and make ourselves dependent and self-reliant. So in order to do that, I'm really going to rely on the United States and our relations that we have already established. So basically the whole idea is I'm going to go ahead, hit this button a bunch of time, and as you can imagine by these big scary numbers, it's going to accrue a whole lot of debt. However, if you take a look at the United States over here, they also have a lot of big numbers as well. So I'm going to dump all of the economic burden of boosting my own economy onto the German states of America. Now don't worry, they're going to be able to absorb this, and if they do eventually going economically destitute, then honestly it's just another country that I don't really have to worry about, because now they don't have as much power. However, it's a double-edged sword, because when I do go to conquer them, it's going to eventually come back to bite me. I'm not really worried about that so much right now. We just really need to get ourselves off our feet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back when I'm all finished. And very gracefully, the United States has taken on my great, old, big, massive 5-year plan debt, which came out to a whole whopping $1 trillion, 1.3 trillion to be a little bit more exact. So I did a little bit of investing, as you guys can tell, into the Nigerian economy over here, and things are actually looking pretty dang good right now. The tax rate and the amount of money that we're actually now getting from trade is helping us out immensely. Absolutely immensely. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is prop up government spending. Actually, we're going to max out government spending. And this is going to go ahead and attack that corruption rate, which is costing us a lot of freaking money. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is get a little bit of research going, get the tourism boosted, because that doesn't really cost a whole lot of money. We're going to get the environment in the green, max out infrastructure, get a little bit of propaganda going, at least for right now, because our approval rating is so terribly low, which results in a terribly low stability as well. Then we need to invest in our educational system. So I'm going to put a little bit more money there as well. It's still going to be in the red, just a little bit, unfortunately, but we will eventually get it into the green. Do not worry, guys. We will get there. Ooh, it looks like Hungary has a little bit of a proposal here. So they want an economic partnership with us right here. And if I go ahead and view that, you'll see that it's just between us and them. And they want a simple economic partnership. All members receive a bonus to their resource production. More productive countries generate a bigger bonus than the less productive ones. So this is absolutely amazing. Beautiful treaty. We want more economic partnership treaties. My bad, sorry, my throat had a little bit of a jabbing sensation, and it's prevented me from talking properly. So there we go, that is that going on. Next thing I would really like to do, could we get a common market with the United States, or at least, the German states? Yes, we can! Oh, that is beautiful. That is going to help us out so much, guys. So much. Because their GDP is so amazing, even though we just dropped all that debt on them, their GDP is still through the roof. It's absolutely great compared to ours. So if we can get that common market treaty, that's going to help us out so much. I mean, look at all the money that it's generating just now. Now, there's only one more thing I want to go ahead and adjust before I leave this episode off, and that is our research structure. Now, in the beginning here, everything is sort of set up equally. I really don't want it like that. I want it in the beginning to be focused heavily around the Navy. And the reason why I'm doing this, ooh, no, not totally on the Navy. Whoops, my hand slipped. just a little bit there. But I want it very focused on the Navy. And the reason why I want it so focused on the Navy is because as Nigeria, we are surrounded, and I mean surrounded, by the Axis powers. There's literally nowhere to go in terms of land. We have to have a navy to expand overseas. We could go to Nigeria, or not Nigeria, Liberia, my bad, and try and round up all of the free countries that are alive in Africa and sort of make an African coalition. We could try and do that. We could also expand to South America and look for new horizons over there. Mexico, maybe the Western United States, maybe even the neutral zone. Canada is still a thing, although they did lose a little bit of land to the Reich, but for the most part, they are still the same exact country as they are in real life, so we could also launch an invasion on them. And if we did do that, the GSA is right there to help us along, although I would be a little bit weary of that whole situation because I don't want the GSA coming in and stealing the territory from me. But yeah, that's basically how we're going to structure our research for right now. We don't have a whole lot of money going into research, and that's why I want to make it so heavily focused on the naval units, because it's just going to take forever if we don't have it super focused. And we did develop a little bit of a surplus here, so I am going to pour just a tad bit more into research. And honestly, that looks really good to me. How far away are we from getting our first ship? Ooh, 431 days. Ooh, no, 350. Nice. So about a year. Not too shabby. We're now in the year 1966, and we have made absolutely amazing strides towards our prosperity and our greater future. So I'm going to go ahead and put the game on pause now. And ooh, we have another economic partnership treaty with the UAE this time. So absolutely, I'm going to take that. The United Arab Emirates, oh yeah, no doubt about that. We want them to be in as many economic treaties with us as possible. So there we go. That's it. That's this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the first episode of our Let's Play as Nigeria using the Man in the High Castle mod. Sorry once again about the fact that we didn't get to play as the neutral zone. Let me know in the comments below if you guys know anything about that whole ordeal. If you don't, that's okay though. I don't expect you guys to. Or, if you do stumble across something, just please let me know. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode off here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this one, please leave a like, please comment, and please subscribe. It really helps out, and it really does mean a lot. So once again, thank you guys so much. Whoa, geez, had a little bit of a stutter. Thank you guys so much. I'm so emphatic, honestly, because you guys blew my mind away on the vote. You guys, oh my god, so many people voted. I did not expect that large of a voter turnout. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So just thank you guys so much simply for that and everything else that you do. Now I'm going to stop rambling and babbling on and giving you guys the cuddly wuddlies and end this video off. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.